Hello, welcome to DJ Speaks. Have you ever wondered that all the luxury brands actually talk to women as their primary audience? Well, most of the luxury brands, because we will discuss in this video later that there are many other brands who have men as their primary audience. But coming to the most prominent luxury brands, Dior, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Hermes, Chanel, and so many more. You must have seen that their primary audience happens to be women. Their collection on women, fashion, bags, shoes, jewelry, so on and so forth. In fact, if you look at all the luxury conglomerates like the Richemont Group, the LVMH Group, the Kering Group, so on and so forth, most of the brands they have in their repertoire actually speak to women first. Over a period of time, they have also collected brands in their repertoire which are for men first. Now, which are these brands actually? When you speak about men, it emanates from the art of tailoring. And no prizes for guessing where you find the top tailoring done. Primarily it is Italy, and then after that in the UK. So the brands who have a deep connect with tailoring, the Italian craftsmanship, these brands have done extremely well and are at the top end of men's luxury. On top of that, other than tailoring, the set of brands which are at the top end of luxury and speak to men first, they have their background in fabrics. So they have been producing fabrics, top quality cashmere, top quality knitted fabrics, etc., for men, for suiting and shirting and so on and so forth. So these are those brands which speak to men first. Now you must be wondering, which are these brands? Here you go. Ermenegildo Zegna, Kiton, Loro Piana, Brunello Cucinelli. When I was looking at these four brands and many others, what I also noticed was most of the brands have been actually acquired by the luxury conglomerates. For example, Kiton, I think it is owned by the Estée Lauder Group. Loro Piana is owned by the LVMH Group, and etc. Look, Ermenegildo Zegna is a brand on its own, and it's like a luxury house. In fact, they have their own aspirations. I don't think anybody is going to be able to buy out the Zegna Group because, look, it's the third generation. They want to keep this to themselves. They went for the IPO, I think, in 2021, and they're a listed company now. And they bought out Thom Browne, which is a luxury designer wear for men, and they also cater to women, but primarily men. Zegna has also gone out and bought 40% stake in Filati Biagioli, which is actually a cashmere maker from Italy. That's what they're after. They will go for a player which is known for something very, very unique. And I'm sure with all the cash that they have on the balance sheet and the money they raised from the IPO, they will go after some more acquisitions. Let's look at who else is actually acquiring. There's another group called Exor Group, which is actually owned by the heirs of the Agnelli family. Now, which one is the Agnelli family? These are the guys who actually own Fiat. And they have $6.5 billion, or rather $6.7 billion in their repertoire to make acquisitions. They have already acquired Christian Louboutin. They acquired another Chinese brand, Shangzhou. Now, that's what is happening in the world of luxury. There are many more players, new kids on the block, who are saying that, hey, you know what, we are going to make certain acquisitions as well. You might wonder, why are these acquisitions happening? See, after the pandemic, when there was a bit of a downturn, people got into action. And the other thing is, in this world of luxury, provenance or history is something very, very valuable. Now, do you think there can be too many brands or too many assets out there for conglomerates to actually acquire, which may have a 100-year-old history? There'll be very few, no? And that's what people are really after. Conglomerates have been acquiring these brands left, right, and center. And which is why, after these long-standing brands, the next set of things people are acquiring are Christian Louboutin, Thom Browne, and many other designer wear. Remember, we've already done a video on Estée Lauder Group acquiring Tom Ford, right? That's something very, very new. Now, we've talked about Zegna a lot. Zegna have a 100-year-ish kind of history, 3 generations in the business. They literally own the whole concept of top quality textiles and craftsmanship. But guess what? There's another brand which is really amazing and actually is higher value than Zegna. They do more revenues than Zegna or any other brand, Brunello Cucinelli, which doesn't have a 100-year-old history. But actually it is far higher value than the likes of Ermenegildo Zegna, Kiton, so on and so forth. So Brunello Cucinelli actually does greater revenue than somebody like a Zegna and many other brands. Brunello Cucinelli actually had a very humble beginning, was born actually in a peasant family, trained to become a building surveyor, but he had his own ideas. In 1982, he married his wife, who actually used to run a boutique. He saw the opportunities and he started his business with a wife. In 1985, he came up with something unique which was actually not available then. People used to use cashmere, but it was in its natural colors, white, grays, and browns, and so forth. Brunello Cucinelli actually came out with cashmere in different colors, and that became a hit in Italy and the rest of the world. He started expanding, and very soon Brunello Cucinelli was a global brand. The other thing which is very unique about Brunello Cucinelli is the humanitarian angle to doing the business. He's built various things for all the people who work with Brunello Cucinelli and for the communities around where they have their factories. Such is the life and style of Brunello Cucinelli, the person himself. The company actually got listed in 2013, if I'm not wrong, and has done exceedingly well after that. I think Brunello Cucinelli is going to be another group that will make acquisitions, collect smaller brands which are in the range of $100 to $300 million of revenue, and make it a behemoth. This is what I expect. A lot of action so far as acquisition and collecting brands globally is concerned. I mean, in fact, when I was thinking about this content, this video, I actually thought, could there be any other players in the fray to actually acquire smaller brands from Italy, from Europe, with great provenance, great history, and high quality offerings? I thought about the Reliance Brands group. I thought about luxury groups from China. As I delve deeper, I think most of these brands from Italy, from Europe, they would want to be closer to Europe. They will want to actually exchange hands to groups outside Europe in Asia. That's because, the way of doing business, the way people treat brands, and perhaps their perception as well. So I do not think in the near future, somebody like a Reliance Brands could actually make an acquisition. Look, if they actually throw a lot of money on the table, of course, everything is up for sale. But I don't think this is going to happen very, very soon. Reliance Brands will continue to distribute many of these brands in India and maybe elsewhere as well. But most of these brands will actually get collected under certain heads. For example, the Brunello Cucinelli Group, the Zegna Group, the LVMH Group, Kering Group, Richemont Group, Estée Lauder Group, and so on and so forth. That was Deepak Towar talking about some of the men's brands, how they have come about, how they are owned by various luxury groups, and if some of them are actually independent as well. And if you liked it, please click on the subscribe button. And thank you for your love. Please leave your comments as well so that I can do better and make it worth the while for you. Thank you.